Hi everybody, today we're going to mess around with pictures of faces, which is going to be quite fun. We're going to create an app called faceshaper. You can download the project ready, or you can watch this video and see how we make it. So first of all, I'm going to take a picture of my face. Okay, now you can see the picture of the face is a sprite, so let me just delete all the other sprites. So we've just got a picture of my face, and it's good practice to always give it a great name. So let's just have a look now. We're going to look at some of the looks graphics effects, and we've got one here called fisheye. Now these effects normally go from 0 to 100, so I can just change that there and get a funny fisheye, which looks very, very silly. Now let's just make the sprite fill the screen a bit. So how do I do that? I just make it bigger like that, and just let's center it on my nose. Okay, that's better. So let's go back, and there we go, we've got a fisheye. Now if I clear graphic effects, that's going to set it back. Okay, and let's have a look at some more effects. I've got whirl. In fact, let's do the other one. Set whirl effect 2, and we can pick a number, 20, or I can click a bigger number, 60. Great. Right. So now what we're going to do is just control. Have a little application that's going to let us control these values a little bit easier. So one way to do it is to create a variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a variable for fisheye. I'm going to call it fisheye, and I'm going to make it just for this sprite. There it is. And now I can set the value to fisheye, but what's nice is if I click here, change it to a slider, I can slide a value from 0 to 100, which is great. So what I can do now is set my fisheye effect to that. We'll put it inside a forever loop and get it to start on the green button. So we're going to clear the effects, put the forever loop on, and there we are, 71. Now I can shrink it down and zoom it up. Great. So if I create another variable, so I go to variables, I make a variable, I tell it if I want it for this sprite only. Let's set whirl, and let's put it on here, change it to a slider, and let's set the whirl effect to that variable called whirl. Here we go. That's great. So there you go. You've got the little app already. You can just set those variables to 0 at the beginning. So set fisheye to 0 and set whirl to 0. Let's start off the app with nothing there. And then as I move these sliders about, they're going to whirl and fisheye, and so on. And you've got a couple of other looks that you can muck around with. You can change the colour, you can change pixelate brighter, and so on. We're just going to stick with whirl and fisheye. Now, just to make the app a little bit more interesting, I'm going to let my mouse control it, so I can use something else instead of these variable sliders. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to create my own little pixel, my own little sprite. I'm just going to create a new sprite, and I'm not actually going to show anything, so I'm just going to, let's just do that for now. And I'm going to call this sprite pointer. And as I move it around, I want it to follow the mouse around and change the value as it goes around. Now we've just got this. It's because there's two sprites, I need to go to front just so I can see it. Now what I want to do is for it to follow my mouse around. So I'm just going to do the normal mouse following behavior, which is a forever loop, point in direction, point towards the mouse pointer, and move to. Now if you look here, if I start that off, it's going to start following my mouse around and then stick onto my mouse. Now what I'm going to do now as well is just to have a look. When I click on the mouse, I want it to go to where my mouse is. So I'm going to do an if, and I'm going to do on sensing if mouse down, which waits for a mouse click, and then I'm going to go to mouse pointer. I could go to yeah, so let's try it. So there we go, click, go to mouse pointer, click, go to mouse pointer, click, go to mouse pointer, and there we have it. Now if you look, let's put the go to front there. If you look, you can see that the X and Y keeps on changing, and what I want to do is use that X and Y to change my variables that I had here on the face. Okay, so what I can do is in this forever loop here on the face sprite, if you look on sensing, I can find the X position of my pointer sprite, which is my red cross, and I can find my Y position of my pointer by changing that to that. So now inside my forever loop, I can keep my variables if I want to. I'm going to use set fisheye. Oops, it's got to be in my forever loop. Set fisheye to the X position, and then if we just go in the middle, look at this. Oh, as it moves across, and I can click, 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 click. If I move my mouse around, it's going to change that fisheye. If I move it back, it's going to change it. If I click on my nose, it will go back to normal. Yeah, and I'm going to do the same with a whirl on the Y position, which is going to change the variable according to how high up my mouse is. So if I move my mouse up, oh sorry, I haven't changed it to whirl. If I move my mouse up, it's going to whirl up. If I move my mouse down, it's going to whirl the other way. So I've got a very, very silly face. I think I'll just make this a little bit more, it might work a bit better. So that is the application called faceshaper, and in fact, I'll just finish it off. I don't actually need to see my X cross, so I can actually use looks to hide it. Sorry, pen. What is it? Looks to hide it right at the beginning, and there we go. And that's the application that you can try and make. So hope you like faceshaper, and of course you need to do it with your own face in there. Okay, have fun.